for being
Yeah, the
Christian.
majority of
So
Muslims, especially in the Middle East, they just worship what they know, right?
right.
If you're living in Saudi
So
Arabia, right, where it's 98% Muslim, you're gonna be worshiping from what you know. You're gonna be getting to God through what you know, which is Islam.
okay, so they're getting to God by
Right?
chopping the heads off of Christians who proclaim
Is
the
what I said
gospel of
correct or no?
Jesus Christ. Okay, now he's saying that we're all children of God.
Ah,
Are
That's
we all children
Yes,
of God?
that's biblical.
yes,
in a
Created by
Oh,
God.
according to hold on,
in a
let me get.
certain
I want
way.
it.
Yeah,
Hold-
I call
yeah,
dibs. I
define
call
it.
dibs.
You have to define it. Yeah.
I call
right,
dibs.
right.
I call dibs. So, according to Acts 17, 20.
8.
I
Right.
think started from Acts 20 to like Acts 17 verse 20 to like 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the passage where Paul encounters the Athenians, right? And they are constructing the statue to the unknown god, right? And Paul is telling the Athenians, the Greeks, he's saying that the one whom you worship in ignorance I proclaim to you. So to confirm from the writings of Saint John Chrysostom, he's basically saying the one whom you worship in ignorance is Christ. And then he starts saying he's the creator of heaven and earth. In him we move and have our being. And as your own poet says, we are all God's offspring.
Mhm.
So he's telling the Athenians, right, who don't know about Christ before meeting Paul, of course, right? He's quoting their own poets by saying we are all God's offspring. So obviously, I would say in that same context, the Pope said we are all God's offspring.
Right. Now
That would
I
be
think
Acts like 20,
Alton might bring up John
17,
chapter 1 verse 12. In John chapter 1 verse 12, it says, yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave them the right to become children of God. I'm sure Alton's going to reference that, but these two verses do not contradict each other, because John 1:12 is talking about being spiritual offspring of God, being born again. That's something that we have to become. Acts 17, like Los Homies just brought up, is talking about how all humans are children in a specific sense. And I think that's what Francis could be saying here.
Well, I think the problem is a
And obviously
misreading
we
in
know
Acts
that
17. Well, go ahead, Soma. I want to talk about Acts 17 in a minute because I think it's being misread.
Mhm.
I think Paul's using Acts 17 as a Trojan horse. So the whole thing is they're trying to hedge their bets, right? And so in case they forgot somebody out, they're like, I'm gonna pour out a little bit of liquor over here, for my dead homies. And that superstition is there, right? So he uses that as an inroad, and then he uses it to dismantle their whole paganistic system, which is ironic because this thing to the unknown God actually is in violation of that God, because it was something dedicated to a God. But Paul makes his argument that God you can't worship him with stone and all that. So it's a Trojan horse argument. So if we try to use a Trojan horse argument in that way, then we're confusing Trojan horse with the other kind of Trojans, and we're allowing our religion to get prostituted, which is associated with the other Trojans.
So, Layman, what do you
Y'all know what I'm
say
talking
about the verse in verse 28 when he
It's
says we're all
not.
children of
It's
God?
not.
What do you mean by that?
Let me put it this way. If I meet a blood, I'm like, you're blood, right? Yeah. How long you been a blood? He tells me, well, I've always been a blood. I've been born into it. Like, okay. Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you about Jesus's blood. I'm just using it as a way to relate to somebody, That's all it is.
No,
And for anybody
Yeah.
else to build a theological system off of it, they're just grasping at straws. And Paul was led by inspiration in that particular situation, as far as we know. There are no apostles and prophets on earth, so you can't use that to justify these arguments. Furthermore, people are held accountable to progressive revelation, meaning they have to
Yeah. So
receive the gospel.
Layman, how do you interpret verse 28 when it says we're all children of God? That was the question.
No, I don't. Well, it says we too are his offspring. Isn't that what it says?
Yeah, children of God.
Okay. So when you're talking about the children idea in the Bible, you have different types of. There's passages of the Bible that talk about children, adoption, inheritance ideas, and all of that. So it's not. And so the thing is that in one sense, all believers are children because of source. God is the origin of all human creation. You know, in the bloodline of Jesus Christ, in Luke, it starts with the son of Adam. Okay. So in that sense, we're all children of God. But that's not how he was using it in this context. He's confusing his Trojans here.
Yeah. Right. And the Athenians said to the unknown God. Now, these other religions believe that they know who the true God is.
Yeah.
And they say that us who worship Christ as God is incorrect, especially the Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of Muslims,
yeah, Paul was checking them. He was doing it on the cool, but he was checking them.
Right, and folks are getting their heads chopped off in the Middle East. For being Christian.
The majority of Muslims, especially in the Middle East, they just worship what they know, right?
Right. So
if you're living in Saudi Arabia, right, where it's 98% Muslim, you're going to be worshiping from what you know. You're going to be getting to God through what you know, which is Islam.
Okay, so they're getting to God by chopping the heads off of Christians who proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well,
is that what you're saying?
Correct or no?
Huh?
No, I'm saying if you live in like a majority Muslim country where it's like 99% Muslim, and all you know, and you are a monotheist, so you believe that there's one true God out there, you're going to try to reach God through what you know or what you've been brought up as, which in their case would be Islam, correct?
And that entails rejecting the gospel of Jesus Christ and killing Christians.
How can you reject something
in
you
the
don't
midst
know
of doing
about?
that?
Yeah, and my question: how can you reject something you don't know about? If you live in Japan or India, which is majority Buddhist,
no, let's not deflect. I'm asking you a straight question. Let's not deflect.
I mean,
you mean to tell me? No, but you mean to tell me that people who kill Christians in the name of Allah, in the name of Islam, are on their way to are on a path to God?
Yeah, you need to understand. Like, I don't know, it's stemming kind of from in emotional argument, right? If you're in a Muslim country, it's okay. No, you're being fallacious. If you're in a Muslim country that's 99% Muslim, and you are a monotheist, you truly believe that there's one true God, right? You are going to try to get the God through the means that you are brought up in, through the means that you know best, which in their case would be Islam. You're telling me the majority of people in Saudi Arabia know about Christianity or know who Jesus is?
And here's the thing. And here's the thing. What I'm hearing is that, hey guys, when you see people from Islam in the Middle East chopping the heads off of Christians, just know that they're still trying to figure it out and find God. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Wait a second,
Alton. That's a huge straw man. You know it.
Because I just asked the question and he's dancing around it.
But this is the thing, though. This is the thing, though.
On a straw man.
This is the problem. This is the thing. It's like the question could seem like not hypothetical, but you can make so many scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Like with the question, are you saying that if there's a Muslim who's never heard the gospel, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, so I'm saying like, and this goes for every religion. In countries where it's majority Buddhist, right? They're reaching God or whatever through what they know best, which is Buddhism, because that's what they grew up on. For a country that's majority Muslim, they're reaching to God to what they know best, which is.
Will they meet the true God along that path?
For somebody who lives in the Bible Belt, they're reaching God through what they know best, which is Protestantism, right?
So,
right. But Soma, do you believe that it's going to lead to them believing in Jesus Christ? And they're doing what they can with what they have. Argument.
I believe there I do believe that there are some people in Saudi Arabia. There are some people in Arabia that will be saved, but they'll be saved in spite of their religion.
Yes.
In
So
in
that's
modern
Yeah.
terms,
So
it'll be
yeah,
God.
you
It'll
hold
be
to
down to them.
you hold to trans dispensationalism, as they're calling it nowadays.
Yeah, that's the point. So
I don't know
they're
if that
not.
is, whatever.
So it sounds as if you're saying, you know, if they're a good Muslim, all they know is Allah, and if they're the best Muslim they could possibly be, then they'll get saved. But you're not saying that. You're saying, in spite of their religion, they'll leave Islam and become Christian, right?
In spite of their there are going to be people in Saudi Arabia, like I said, I'm emphasizing, which is like over 97% of Muslim. There are going to be people who live and die as a Muslim, because that was all
Do they
were
got rap
exposed to.
albums? Do they got
Yeah,
rap
I
albums in Saudi Arabia?
Reach Saudi
Rap
Arabia.
album.
Maybe.
Anyways, so
I
hold
can
on,
take an
let's go-
Eminem album and break down the gospel.
That's what I'm saying.
So why can't God reach
what I'm
use
saying.
Eminem to reach the
This is what I'm
Muslims in
saying.
Saudi
Hey.
Arabia so that they believe in Jesus?
Beats me.
Hold on.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is there are going to be numerous people who live and die as Muslims.
Mhm.
So I'm saying is God is still going to extend His grace to these people, and there are some in Saudi Arabia is going to be saying you can't just say, oh, Saudi Arabia is 99% Muslims, therefore the whole country Saudi Arabia is all damn to hell, right? No, that's not how you see that. There are people in Saudi Arabia that's going to be saved.
So you see what's
Those
happening,
things
guys. On the cool, the
inspire
Catholics
people
really
with that.
believe in a form of universalism,
Okay,
and they're
hold on.
not
Wait,
owning up to it.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Wait.
Hold on.
Guys,
Wow.
chill.
Yeah,
Can I-
let's
can
let-
I-
Hey, thank you guys for watching the video. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you like this particular content, hit that subscribe button as well if you have not done so. Also, check out this most recent video that I've done right here, or check out some of these other videos that I've done concerning the same topic. All right, you guys have a blessed day.